Hi, welcome. Bienvenidos. That means welcome in Spanish. This is the last couple of weeks of good news, so you can be reminded that not everybody on this planet is a giant turd head. Before we get to the good news of the week, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. I want you to leave me a comment with your response. I'll go through and I'll read them. So what I've been doing is taking like a week or two of good news that I put out on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. That's a shameless plug if you wanna go follow me along on those platforms. And I've been putting them in a long video. But my new idea is to take stupid news and good news, because you know I do stupid news too, of the day and put it into one video every single day. So every single day you would get a good news, stupid news video. It'd be one video. Would you like that format? The videos would be shorter, but you'd get a daily video. Let me know. Thank you. And now to the good news. Better stay focused or we're gonna fight. Good news. You should know that this will probably be my absolute favorite story of the week. Like, very few things are gonna be able to top this. So for almost a year, the Salt Lake City International Airport has had in its lost and found possession a taxidermied rat. It's been a fixture there. They've just been waiting for its owner to resurface. They even gave him a name, Stuart, and they bought him some little hats. But then Stuart got a news report on the TV and the owner came forward. Carrie Paulson took a taxidermy class last fall in Salt Lake. When she flew back to New York, she accidentally left that little rat at the gate. She could have swore she had it, so when she discovered she didn't, she was real bummed about it. So when she saw that news report, she's real excited and immediately filed a claims report on the airport's website. The airport helped reunite that taxidermied rat with her. Now, though she's not saying exactly what, Carrie is planning to give a gift to the airport staff. I bet it's a taxidermied rat. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Like, can you imagine just rolling up to the airport, to your left you see TSA, to your right you see a taxidermied rat wearing a little hat? That'd be the greatest flight I've ever been on. Good news. Good news. So there's this program in Michigan and, well, it's doing some good things. 45 inmates from Michigan state prisons are among the first to earn their bachelor's degree. The program was designed to help lower rates of recidivism among inmates who are going to be released. Why does that sound weird? The program also focuses on making leaders out of those serving lifelong sentences in order to lower violence rates inside the prisons. 31 inmates also graduated with their associate's degree. That includes Christopher Stidman. He said he could grow during this. He's the first person in his family to get his college degree, and he owes all of this to his family. Apparently, research shows that prisoners that get an education while behind bars are less likely to return. And I think that's good news. Okay. Even if a dog has weird eyes, just feel free to shush. Dogs are too good to be with humans. We all know this. We're blessed. So there is this black and white puppy, and she has a rare birth defect that makes her eyes googly eyes. She doesn't have enough eyelids to cover her eyes. Literally, the news article that I read this story from described it as googly eyes. She cute though. Apparently, Flora, that's the dog's name, was found wandering the streets before she was taken to a local animal rescue. She had to have multiple surgeries for other injuries. She got healed up and then was put up for adoption. I saw this one report that said nobody wanted her because of her googly eyes, but I don't know if that's true. A woman named Vicky adopts Flora, and Vicky's like, dang, Flora's real cute. I'm gonna enter her into this dog competition put on by a local brewery. They wanted dogs to put on their beer cans. This is an advertising thing. But Flora was so gosh darn cute, she was one of 6 dogs chosen to be put on the side of their beer cans. This is a true Cinderella story. Good news. So there's this cop and he thinks he's getting called to a drug overdose. Nope, surprise! He gets to deliver a baby. We're in Rhode Island for this good news story. Officer Connor Doyle works for the Woonsocket Police Department. He said he got a call from a woman who was asking officers to check on a family member who had a history of drug use. The woman said she was fearful of a drug overdose. When Officer Doyle showed up to the apartment, he said he did find evidence of narcotics, but the woman was 90% done pushing out a baby. Officer Doyle helped deliver that baby. She's now in a NICU unit. She's premature. Now, apparently the mom had been sober for a good while, but she had relapsed, but she didn't know she was pregnant. And before you comment, oh, how does she not know she was pregnant? There's literally a whole show on TLC called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. And I'm happy to report about that mom that since she went into labor and delivered that baby girl that she has since gotten sober. She's been to rehab, been through a 12-step program, and she even messaged Officer Doyle on Facebook expressing her gratitude. Good news. Good news. Hello. I'm Julie, and at least 3 or 4 times a week I practice hot yoga. I cannot do a headstand. I've tried, can't do it. It makes my little neck hurt. But a guy in Canada can, and now because of that, he is a world record holder. We're in Quebec. And I always think I say that wrong, so if I said it wrong, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. That's where we find 75-year-old Tony. He's now officially the oldest person at 75 years and 33 days to perform a headstand. That's according to Guinness World Records. He said that the biggest challenge was adjusting and executing the headstand on concrete. They had to move the concrete after some rain moved in and made the grass too soggy. Good news. Good news. You guys remember that pilot last week who fell completely unconscious mid-flight, and then his passenger who had zero flight experience had to land the plane in Florida? When the plane landed, the pilot was immediately taken to the hospital, and he's literally a miracle. We don't know the pilot's name, that's not been released, but I am happy to report that the pilot is out of the hospital and is recovering at home. He had surgery for an aortic dissection. The aorta is the largest artery in the body. It connects to the heart. I'm pretty sure, at least. You should know I am not a medical doctor. However, I did see all the good seasons of Grey's Anatomy, so do with that what you will. So an aortic dissection is when a tear happens in that artery. And the doctor who treated that pilot says it's a complete miracle that this guy survived at all. Most people die before they get to the hospital or die before they get diagnosed. And this guy's at home recovering. And I think that's pretty good news. Okay, I know that there's a lot of stupid news that comes out of Florida, but can we please just for 5 seconds acknowledge that Florida also puts out some good news stories? And for that statement, I submit this good news story. A Florida woman is in the hospital with burns and smoke inhalation after she saved more than a dozen cats and kittens from an early morning house fire. Laura Kyle's the woman, and she fosters cats and kittens. Over the weekend, her alarm clock goes off, and it's not from her phone. Instead, the alarm clock is smoke alarms, and she can hear her cats screaming. There's a fire, and it is spreading quickly. She sacrificed her own safety for the lives of her cats and kittens. She busted open windows. She broke open cages. In fact, she didn't stop until firefighters made her stop. You should know that Laura Kyle is known in her community for fostering and rescuing little kitties. And get this, while Laura's on the gurney getting loaded into the ambulance, her neighbors can hear her saying, "Get my babies out." But her vocal cords have a bunch of damage from the smoke inhalation. The story only gets better. Not in a sense that she got burned, but in a sense that the community really rallies around Laura and her kitties, because then EMTs, they break out oxygen masks that will fit over the faces of the kitties, and they start to teach neighbors how to give oxygen to the little cats. I don't normally do this, but if this story has inspired you, go onto Facebook and search for Rescue Pets of Florida. Good news. Listen, a restaurant in Texas is stepping up to help feed little babies. So the owner of Our Place in North Texas kept hearing about the formula shortage, and he stepped up to the plate in a big way, securing formula from his food distributor. That word sounds weird today. I do not know why. Now, here's why the owner says it's important to him, and this is big. He says it's important to him because during the panorama, which, is that still ongoing? I don't know anymore. And for those of you who saying I'm making light of it, I'm serious. Is it still going on? I don't know. He said that during the pandemic, the community was really supportive of his restaurant. They would stop by, they would bring stuff for his staff. So he really wanted to give back. So he got all this formula and he gave it out to his community for free. And I think that good news. So one time my best friend, we've been best friends since like elementary school, she got knocked up. It was her husband who did the knocking up, so it's fine. Anyway, she delivered their second child in her own truck. Her and her husband, they live in a really rural area, and then one day she's like, "Oh, it's time for me to push out this baby. Let's go to the hospital." But before they could get to that hospital, that little baby said, "Nope, I would like to take the slip and slide to life right here, right now in this Ford Ranger." What up, Mom and Dad? It's cool though, she's a nurse practitioner. My friend is, not the baby. The baby's like 8 now. I say all this to say that sometimes babies like shooting out of the canal of life in places they should not be shooting out of the canal of life. So there's this Frontier flight, and they are heading towards Orlando. Based on the previous information I have given to you, you probably know what's up. A woman is pregnant. She goes into labor mid-flight. So she goes to the back of the plane into the bathroom. She needed just a little bit of privacy. I get it. Plus, I'm pretty sure you poop when you deliver a baby anyways. The flight attendant plays OBGYN and helps to deliver a healthy baby girl. Good news. So seniors from Oklahoma, they raise a bunch of money for their senior trip. They plan to go to Florida, so you can imagine it's a big surprise when they end up in Springfield, Missouri. They got scammed. But don't worry, the Ozarks stepped up in a big way. Not in a sense that the Ozarks helped them get to Florida, but they got to go to Bass Pro. Here's what happened. The Oklahoma students, they raise the money. They Google Allegiant Airlines. The students talk to someone who presents themselves as a representative from Allegiant Air. A number of weeks pass, and it's trip time. They go to the airport, and the airline's like, "We don't have a group reservation for you." That's not good. Of the 40 tickets that the students were supposed to have, they only had 28, which, you know, That's 12 short. Someone done messed up. So the students decide, you know what? Not a total loss. Let's go to the Branson Springfield area. They go to Wonders of Wildlife, which is one of the museums that Bass Pro has. You should know, if you've ever been to a Bass Pro that's not in Springfield, Missouri, you've not been to the Bass Pro. Like, this is the Bass Pro where Bass Pro got started. It's incredible in there. They went to Silver Dollar City. If you don't know what Silver Dollar City is, it's like Six Flags if Six Flags theme was 1807. And best yet, all these attractions, they wanted to help out these students, so they donated the tickets for free. Now, the students are working with Allegiant to either get a refund or vouchers for the 28 tickets that they did have, but the other 12, that's a total loss. Their money's just gone. That's not the good news. The good news is that they still had a blast in the Ozarks. Good news. So there is this waiter at a Virginia Beach restaurant. He's 82 years old and he's over $250,000 richer. Vincente Monsquera got lottery numbers from somebody years ago. So finally, he decides, hey, I'm gonna see if these lottery numbers are any good. And sure as heck they are. They're worth over $285,000. Now the best part of this story is after he swings by the lottery office to pick up his Skrilla, he goes back to work, says he loves his job. I mean, I love my job too, but if I won that kind of money in the lottery, shoot, I'd probably come back to work. I mean, $285,000. Have you seen gas prices lately? That's only like 3 tanks of gas and a 4-hour-old burrito at the gas station. That's the good news. Doesn't it just put a smile on your face? It does mine. See you next time.